Hi, it's Alaska Granny. Are you wondering what kind of oils you should store with your long-term food storage for emergency survival prepping food needs? Just like other areas of food storage, store what you eat and eat what you store. My favorite oil to use is olive oil, so that's the first one that I keep in my pantry. I stockpile olive oil. It's my favorite for cooking. It's great for salad dressings, fish, vegetables. It's nice even to rub on your skin. Olive oil also has some survival uses. You can use it to make emergency oil lamps or candles. Olive oil needs to be stored in a cool, dry, dark place and keep the lid on tight. It will go rancid after about 24 months. So don't buy so much that you can't use it up in the time before it's going to expire. And remember, first in, first out. Push the bottles you already have to the front of your pantry and put the new bottles behind those, and then rotate your food that way so that your shelf-stable food is always fresh and you are using it up in a reasonable amount of time. The next oil I like is vegetable oil, and I like canola oil. It's great for things like breads, muffins, pancakes, waffles, things that olive oil has an overpowering flavor, and we don't always want the flavor of the oil, but we like the essence that it adds to our foods. Canola oil can also be used in salad dressings over vegetables, and it can also be used to make emergency lights and candles. Next, look for cooking sprays. They come in a wide variety. They're so handy to just spray on your pans and keep things from sticking. They come in all kinds of flavors. In an emergency, you can even use them to season your cast iron, your Dutch ovens. You can use it to spray on hinges to keep them from squeaking. There are a lot of ways you can use cooking sprays. Choose the varieties and the flavors that suit your tastes and needs. Cooking sprays have a shelf life of about 12 months, but I haven't ever noticed any go rancid or off smelling or tasting ever at my house. And I suppose if they did, then you can use them for the lubricating things and seasoning your cast iron and not worry about that they've gone to waste. But as with other oils, don't buy far more than you could use in a reasonable amount of time. The next oil that I like to store is ghee. Ghee is actually a finely clarified butter. It's actually the highest quality clarified butter. It has removed all of the water and all of the dairy. It can last a year in your pantry, 8 years in your refrigerator, and indefinitely in your freezer. Know that when you put it in the refrigerator or the freezer, it tends to become solid. Just like butter, when it's sitting out on the counter, it's soft. When it's been refrigerated, it's hard. Ghee adds a nutty flavor to your cooking, and it can actually be used to cook foods at a higher temperature, up to 400 degrees, before it would begin to smoke. My recommendation is never try to home can your own butter. Purchase butter that's already designed for long-term food storage. If you study over any of the Extension Office recommendations on canning, they will tell you just don't do it. It's not safe to try to can your own butter. It's a risk to your health and a waste of your food storage dollars to experiment with foods that may not give you the value or the safety that you need. The last kind of oil that I like to store is a vegetable shortening, or Crisco. I don't ever cook with this or eat it, but I use it to season my cast iron and all of my fryers, skillets, grill pans, Dutch ovens. This all gets a good coating of that. I re-season them once a year using the Crisco. I do it about once a year because I use my pots and pans, my cast iron, a lot. If you don't use them a lot, you wouldn't need to do it every single year. The vegetable shortening can last in your pantry for up to 5 years. Sadly, it no longer comes in a can, it comes in cardboard. So if you want to get the full length of value out of it, you might want to scoop it into a canning jar, label it, and put that away in your pantry. I don't use this for cooking, so I'm not concerned with it becoming rancid, and it's still going to be useful for seasoning the pans because then everything is cooked off. You can also use it to make emergency candles. In fact, you can stick a wick right into the Crisco can and light it, and it'll burn up the fuel and make an emergency candle for you. But just remember, now it's made out of cardboard, so you may not want to actually insert a wick and light the can of Crisco because it's no longer an actual can. You don't want to risk starting a fire if the paper melted or burned or just fell apart. These are my favorite oils that I store for long-term emergencies for my prepper pantry to make sure that I have the things that I need and use. Leave me a comment about the oils that you like to store and any tips for how you use any of these products. Learn more at alaskagranny.com, and please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.